Good morning, students. We are moving to the second chapter of microeconomics, which is explaining you what we have learned in chapter 1, scarcity of resources, in a more wider way. And we're talking about the chapter central problems of an economy. Now it is basically revolving on two basic conditions or characteristics, is that the resources are scarce and the wants are unlimited. So we'll try to further understand how there is economic problems on the basis of these two characteristics, which we have referred in chapter 1. Then let us understand what is economic problem, and under this what are its causes. What is economic problem? We had already discussed in chapter 1 that we have less of resources, or we have limited resources, and we have excessive use of those resources, or our wants are unlimited. Now why this economic problem takes place as because of the same thing what we have read in the previous chapter, that there is unlimited wants. Unlimited wants means the people, when they want certain activities to be done, their wants or their desires are unlimited. But there is limited and scarce mean. Example, money and wealth. For example, a person earns certain money in a month, but his wants are many. He has to pay fees for the schooling, he has to get health checkup, he has to fulfill his needs of clothing, he requires food every month. So he has to spend that money in such a way so that he gets maximum satisfaction, and only if money is left, then he can utilize that money for extra needs, or maybe spending on fun and leisure. So therefore it is said that the economic problem lies because there is unlimited wants and the means to fulfill those wants are less. Then what does the third point says? It is alternative uses. When I said that money is not being only utilized to buy food items, the same money is being utilized to get many other facilities in our day-to-day life. So we have to be very careful how to utilize that scarce means, which is called as money. Let us go further. Central problem of an economy, which says what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Now this is a problem in any economy. Like we have said in chapter 1 that economy is divided into three different forms. One is capitalist economy, which is completely depend on the demand and supply of the people, where there is no government interference. Then comes mixed economy like India, where we have some of the economy under the control of government and the other in the control of the private sector, so that we say that it is the collaboration of private and public sector which works under mixed economy. And the last one is socialist economy, where everything is under the control of government. Only government decides what is to be produced and how is to be produced. Now let us understand what to produce. Under what to produce, every government has to be deciding in advance or according to the needs that how much of the consumer goods has to be produced and how much of capital goods. Now capital goods means machineries or arms and ammunitions. So if you produce more of that, then you have less money or less resource to produce consumer goods. So it is the government to decide what to produce, more of consumer goods or more of capital goods. Like in country like North Korea, where you find a dictator ruling, he is less concerned for the welfare of people, and he is only ready to produce more of capital goods. He's having more of arms and ammunition, whereas a country like India has to produce more of consumer goods. So this is the first topic, what to produce, and where they have to decide whether it is consumer goods or capital goods. Then comes how to produce. Now when you say how to produce, we have one is labor intensive technique where more of labor it is utilized, and another one is called capital intensive technique where it has been produced with the help of machines. But in country like India, when there are large number of people who are looking for jobs, so we have to again decide whether it is a mixture of labor intensive and capital intensive. We have many industries which are producing in India goods under labor intensive technique, and many other industries which are using capital intensive technique. So this is basically decided by the government so that many people of our country get enough jobs, enough work to be done, or enough employment as it is said. Now for whom it has to be produced? For whom we have to again decide that the goods has to be produced for the rich or the poor. Now when we again take the example of our country, India, we know that there are large number of people in India which are more in rich or lower middle class. So the goods has to be produced for them in more number than for the rich. So these are the three categories which has to be decided or are central problems of an economy. What to produce? Consumer good or capital good. How to produce is the technique of production, labor intensive technique or capital intensive technique. Labor intensive means more number of workforce, more number of laborers. Capital intensive technique means more of machines. Then comes for whom to produce, for rich or for the poor. Then according to the solution of the central problem in different economy, the economies are market economy, centrally planned economy and mixed economy. Market economy, as I already told you, the countries like USA or European countries where government does not have anything in their own control. Everything is in the private sector and is been produced according to the needs of people, because the people in those countries are mostly in the richest areas. They have high GDP or they have higher amount of money with them. So this is about the market economy, and it is found in countries like USA or European countries where everything is decided according to the market forces of demand and supply. Then comes the centrally planned economy where most of the goods are been planned and produced according to the needs of the people and has been decided purely by the government, like in China. Then comes mixed economy where I have already told that there are certain goods produced by the private sector and certain other areas which are under the control of the government sector like railways and banks. So this is mixed economy. So these are the problems and these are the solution to the central problems. Now when we talk about production possibility curve, it speaks about that how the production has to be taken, whether the production is attainable or unattainable. Like when we have certain resources and we want to produce something with those resources, whether that production is attainable or unattainable. If it is attainable, it is called attainable combination of production. If it is beyond the production possibility curve, then it is unattainable. For example, if we have 2 acres of land and with this 2 acres of land we want to produce 100 tons of wheat, I feel is not possible. So it is unattainable combination. Then we talk about whenever we produce something, is there any change in resource or change in technology? Basically when production possibility curve is there, the resources are constant and technology also remain constant. So if these things change, then we are able to produce more, and if technology becomes better, then also our production possibility curve can be increased. But if these things are constant, then our production possibility curve is up to a limit, or is to be produced to an area where only that much is been produced which is under our control. Then we go to the two basic property of production possibility curve. The first one is production possibility curve slopes downward, and production possibility curve is concave to the point of origin. Why these two things happen? Because our resources are scarce or resources are limited, and our technology remain constant. If these two things happen, then automatically the production possibility curve slopes downward, because we are using the same resource for production of two types of goods at the same time. And when we switch on from one good to another, the production of another good starts falling down. This is the meaning of the production possibility curve is concave to the origin. Then assumption of production possibility curve, that resources are given and it is constant, as I told. Given resources are fully and efficiently utilized, and the technique of production remain constant. When all these things happen, and when we shift our resources from production of good X to production of good Y, then the production of good of X starts falling, and that is why the production possibility curve slopes downward. So this is the second chapter, which tells us that we have limited resources. We have to use those resources to get fully and efficiently utilization of resource and produce in a way to get maximum satisfaction. So students, this is our second chapter, central problem of an economy, where we have understood about is based on two important things, that resources are scarce and we have alternative uses of those resources. So read those chapter carefully, and if you have doubt, we'll discuss in the next video. Thank you.